Okay, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Crypto Crazy Cowboys channel. All right, let's see. That's exciting. Yeah. Okay, let's start with what are we starting with here? Why is this not loading up? That's not good. All right, Bitcoin kind of loading up. Thought this had already loaded. My bad. Um, that's lame. Lamosity, bro. That's what we call it around here. Yeah, let's just use a symbolic. You can do the kind of the same thing. Okay, let's go Bitcoin. I like it better. You get the count also. I got Williams COT commercial index. If you want to, you can get Larry's packages on symbolic.com and get the Larry Williams indicators. You're looking at Williams COT commercial index. That's what this is right here. Okay. So I think by default it's red. I don't know. You can hit the settings, display, COT commercial index. This is your above line, your buy signal line right there. That's your sell zone right here line. So that's how that's set up. I don't know how it's calculated. Don't really care how it's calculated. All I care is it works. Um, that's that's all that matters to me. So, all right, weekly. Technically, you're on a bounce week. Bitcoin bounced almost 2%, but it's week three. There again, a lot of times you'll get a 3 bar retrace on your TD sequential. I've seen that work daily, hourly, even down to a 15-minute, 5-minute chart. Um, I think it's due mostly to the time frame. If you look on a 4 hour chart or a 1 hour chart, most time you're due for it. You're on a 9 count a lot of times, so you're due for a bounce anyway. So according to this, the commercial money's buying back in on Bitcoin slowly. Now they could be accumulating all the way down, so this could still get down as 35, 37,000 before we see a significant bounce. Theoretically, I don't know. There's no guarantee. This thing could explode at any time. I don't know. If you look at crude oil, I'm just looking at the continuous contracts. I'm not doing any specific month. Most of these, your March month is going to be the most active. For the month, if you don't know, go to the CME page and look it up. That's all I know to tell you. So on oil, the commercials have been selling off for 2 weeks. Now they're not. They're still in the buy zone. Technically, they're not in the sell zone, um, but they are starting to sell. And this week was a pretty big down week, 7% on oil. So I don't know. That's running out of steam pretty quick. I think they're going to try to keep oil probably in a trade range. It's going to get range bound probably. Um, that's my speculation, just because it's a election year. I don't want to get political or nothing, but for some reason copper is not loading my index, but it was on a sell signal, pretty close. Cotton's on a sell signal, even though it's still going up. It's on a 4 count weekly. Dollar index. The dollar was what was causing a lot of the problem this week. It was rallying pretty hard. Went up 0.5%. Did not get a 3 bar retrace. It's still in the buy zone for commercials, so that's creating a little bit of a problem. Let me see if this finally loaded. Yeah, Bitcoin. I wanted to see my Dow Jones futures. This is the only one I can pull the Dow Jones futures on. And it looks like the commercial money's still selling. They're getting out, even though we went up. That's February 2nd. Yeah, I guess that'd be right. So, I don't know. We're coming up to a sell point seasonality around February 16th, sometime around that week on the Dow Jones anyway. So, I'd be careful on stocks. They're due for a sell off. Live cattle. This is February cattle. I assume this contract is still active. They still let me pull it up anyway. I had it bought down here 167.75, and I bought it in again 169.77. It rocketed up 180, probably going to 188. Be my guess. Probably going to be strong until about the middle of February, and then it should sell off. Might even sell off next week. We had a really strong week this week, so I would anticipate some kind of pullback. Soybeans are set up really good on March contract. The commercial money's all in. You're pretty much at an 8-9 count on your TD sequential. Soybean meal, same thing. Natural gas. They've started accumulating on natural gas, but it hasn't got in the buy zone yet. We looked at crude oil. Same thing. They're selling. They're not completely out of the buy zone yet, but it's pretty close. Your hedge funds in public are starting to accumulate, so I would start to bet against the public and the hedge funds. Let's see. This is copper, March future weekly. They're selling. They're out of the buy zone. I'm in a contract like a dumbass. I should never have gotten in this. I don't know. I just wanted something to trade, I guess, that day. They call it boredom trading. So I think I got suckered into that. I should have looked at a day chart. I may have glanced at it, just didn't register. It was on an 8 count the day before, so technically I was on a 9 bar on a day chart. You really don't want to buy those on any time frame. I mean, even just trying to time a 1 hour chart was what I was trying to do, or might have been a 4 hour. I had a 4 hour -9 on a 4 hour chart, and it just didn't work. I don't know, just all day long, it just pretty much down. I was trying to go long on it. Corn, it's set up good. I think you need one more week on corn, and I would start watching it on a day chart. If it gets above your 18-day moving average on corn, March corn futures, I'd probably be a buyer on that. It's set up really good. Soybean meal, same way. Your silver, they sold off a little bit, never got in the buy zone, so that's weakness. It can still go up. It can still kind of trail up, till March 8th. And you get a couple weeks down, you get another little rally till about middle of April 12th. That might be your sweet spot right there from March 15th to April 12th. Might get a 30-day on silver. Gold's probably about the same way. Let's see. Yeah, they're accumulating on gold, but so you're kind of in a seasonality buy zone until about April 12th on gold also. And then you see a sell-off until about July 5th. So I'd be careful on gold. I don't think you don't have the commercial money in the buy zone, so I'm not buying it. I'm not going to play those odds. That's bad odds on anything. So TD sequential stuff, you can look at weekly. You're on a -3 on gold. Um, let's see what else we look at. Here's HG Copper. This one works. It's on a +1 weekly, but it was a down week. I don't like those. That's low odds of success. This shows copper, you're still in the buy zone, but they did sell off the last 2 weeks. So, but knowing how the commercials and the professional investor do, they start to sell as your price action starts to go up. So they dollar cost average out of their position on a weekly basis the whole time it's going up. And then by the time it gets to the top, usually they're all out and it starts back down and they start buying. And they start dollar cost averaging back in. Heating oil, we had a pretty mild winter so far. Now, February, we could pay for it in February or March, who knows? Now, up north, I can't speak for their weather, but the Japanese yen, let's take a look at it right quick. That's on a -4 sell. I'd stay away from that. There's your live cattle. It's on +5 on a weekly. That could still go up 4 more weeks. Like I say, I like this 187, 188. Could even retrace to 193 on live cattle. But they're selling off the last couple weeks pretty hard. So I'd be careful there. Like I say, natural gas still on a -2, continuation to the downside. They're nowhere near the buy zone on a commercial. Let's see, gasoline's in the sell zone. It is on a +3, but a pretty massive down run. Went down 7% this week. Sugar's in the buy zone. It's on a +3. That could take off. Probably leading up for Easter, be my guess. A lot of candy, pies and stuff being made probably. There's silver again. It's on a -4. I'd leave that alone. SPY, your S&P, it's on a +4 continuation pattern. That could continue to a 13. Now you see how long it took it with these red numbers coming up to a 13. Usually you get a 9-13 together. That's pretty close to a top. It's as good odds as you can get for taking profit. At least sell half. That's my rule. And I got that rule from Rick Benzinger, who is a hedge fund, or was a hedge fund manager for 30 years at Morgan Stanley. Bonds, that's on a -4. It rallied, continue, retrace, but I would expect that to continue to the downside. You don't have commercial money in. There again, there's corn set up perfect on an -8. I think one more week of that down, and you could get a rally retrace on a 9 bar. A lot of times your 9 bar will retrace and go up. So I'd watch that. Soybean meal, same thing, -9. You got to retrace on your 10 bar. It's set up perfect. When it gets above the 18-day moving average, that's one of my favorite things to trade is soybean meal. That was my best trade. Made $2,600 on soybean meal last time I traded it. There's soybeans. It didn't rally on the 10 bar. Soybeans. So soybean meal is stronger than soybeans are. Wheat. Wheat's not there yet. It's on a -5. I'd say 4 more weeks down. It's not in the buy zone on commercial, so I'd leave it alone. As far as Bitcoin goes, crypto, like I say, you had a 3-bar retrace, but I'm anticipating this starting to get more bloody on the downside probably in the next 6 weeks, at least 5 to 6 weeks. even though the commercial money's coming in, technically you've had 2 up weeks in a row. But if you go to the COT report, you look at the dealers on Bitcoin, they've sold off. Their net position has reduced 2 weeks in a row. So that's not good. That's telling me they're net sellers. Let me pull that again. Look at their position here. Larry's indicator shows net position is going up on the commercial money. So either I don't know what I'm looking at on the COT report, or Larry's indicator is wrong. This could be asset managers. I thought that was the blue line on Larry's indicator. This indicates they are increasing their position, and your leverage money has been selling. They're reducing their position. And then your non-reportable, that's the public, they're flat, maybe a little bit up on their position. So according to that, I would say probably Bitcoin goes down. I'm still thinking to the downside until it completes this down count. I would probably throw a trend line on this until you get above that. I'm not buying anything long term. I'm going to set an alert on it. Look for a 4-hour buy signal. That's what I want to text me if this goes off. I looked at Ruin the other day at work, yesterday. Matter of fact, it had a good 4 count I had a good -9 on a 4-hour chart. You see right here. This was around 10 a.m. Central Time yesterday. It worked relatively decent. I haven't really got a good bounce off of it. Technically, it is bouncing. The cloud indicates you should go up temporarily. This may run out of steam sometime tomorrow. Looks like about 6 o'clock. It could just go sideways, and it hasn't really done much since I bought it. I mean, I think I'm up 3 pennies since I bought it. Yeah, I should have put some more leverage on it because it's definitely not moving. But so I didn't see a whole lot on my scans. I know I'm watching Starbucks. I'm watching MicroStrategy. I would definitely keep an eye on those two. If they get above and close above the 18-day moving average, I might be a buyer on those two stocks. That was about all I saw. Maybe NASDAQ. I'm just not real gung ho on stocks right now. See, Starbucks is the only thing really popping up. Had your buy set up over here. You got a little bit of a rally this week, not much. If you go to a day chart on it, your wheel stop's way up here at 98.38 now because of this massive. That was on earnings. It gapped way up and then sold off all day. Ended up red for the day, -1%. So that's weakness. That's a head fake. Deluxe. I'm not buying that. If they're playing that kind of games, I'm out. You can keep your $10 coffee. Shove it where the sun don't shine, bro. Let's see what we got. I'll run the Russell right quick. See what it comes up with. Still getting AMC. That's December 31st, though. Sometimes it puts them out of order. I don't know why it does that. It kind of bugs me. Messes with my OCD a little bit. January 28th. You have BG come up. I have no idea what they do. Buy signal, CPRI. I wouldn't touch that. That's a decent buy setup on Ideally, yeah. Anyway, I'll make that bigger. There's OHI. It finally got a buy setup. Okay. Might be time to buy back in OHI. I mean, you get a nice dividend on this, like a 9% dividend. OHI, I keep it on the watch list anyway. I'd wait for confirmation if you wanted to, because this is starting another one down, so you could go down another 8 days, market days. So that could be kind of painful until this bottoms out. I'd be careful on that. But once this gets above 29.75 at right now is your will stop. Or if you don't have access to that, use your 18-day moving average. It's pretty close. That's about as close as you can get. Let me type in, put that on a watch list because I got out of it. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to take the chance on losing another 10% on it. I did the math. I was already down what the dividend paid. And in my mind, if you're going to lose 10% on a 9% dividend stock, you haven't gained anything. I guess actually you're going to get taxed on the dividend, but unless you reinvest it. I'm not a CPA. That's not financial advice, but none of this is financial advice actually, because I am not a financial advisor. So I'm just a rookie with 12 years experience that gets it wrong just as much as anybody. Let's see. But I get it right sometimes too. And when I do, I make some good money. Yeah, there's your 9. You close below the cloud, but let me see. Yep, that ain't good. You got your Ichimoku trailing line below the cloud also. That concerns me a little bit. That's a massive red flag. So I would be watching that on a 9-day, or I'd watch it on a daily. And if it gets above this 18-day moving average, which right now is about 29.56. Now that's constantly moving. So, if this starts up, that's going to start trailing up too. So you kind of got to try to hit a moving target. Hopefully, the price action rallies above it. You want at least above a 4 or 9 simple moving average, in my opinion, just to reverse price action anyway. You gotta get this momentum to the downside canceled. It's like stopping a freight train. It takes a while to stop it. I know because I drive them for a living, so it can take at least 2 miles. If you stop it within the rules, it can take up to 6 miles, at least 3. To stop it safely and without having to slam on the emergency brakes. So it did it. That's a good analogy. How long it takes to stop a heavy freight train. I would use like a coal train. A mile of coal analogy. Now we're hauling 2 and 3 miles of coal now, but so that's a bad sign. You broke through your 4-week shelf. That's not good. Bottom of the weekly cloud. I'm not seeing that, but yeah, I guess it was right here. All right, I'm seeing that. I've got a buy zone marked out on OHI, and it's almost there. I mean, if it gets in this zone, you can start dollar cost averaging probably and do all right. I don't see a problem. You've got your 9 count. You've got a pretty good buy setup. I don't see a problem with dollar cost averaging on that. So anyway, I'm gonna keep this one short. Try not to ramble on for 2 hours. Sorry about the last one, but hopefully you got something out of it. Learning from my mistakes, if nothing else, can save you a fortune. I'm gonna end this one, and we'll catch y'all next week. Hope y'all have a good week.